Saint Malachy, a 12th century Irish bishop, is known for something that has captured the imaginations of many, a mysterious prophecy that outlines the future of the papacy. This prophecy, which details 112 popes in a series of cryptic Latin phrases, has sparked a great deal of curiosity and debate. The most intriguing part of this prophecy is the final Pope, number 112, who is said to lead the Church during a time of great turmoil and transformation. Some believe that the current Pope, Pope Francis, may be the one predicted by Saint Malachy. But what exactly did Saint Malachy see? And is this prophecy something to take seriously, or is it just another historical mystery with many layers of interpretation? Saint Malachy, born in 1094 in Armagh, Ireland, was known for his deep devotion to God and his efforts to reform the Irish Church. He was recognized not only for his holiness, but also for his commitment to aligning the Irish Church with the broader Roman Catholic Church. His leadership was instrumental in unifying the Church in Ireland, which at the time was struggling with internal divisions and a need for stronger connections with Rome. His reforms helped restore order, discipline, and spiritual focus, which were critical for the Church's future. In 1139, Malachy made a significant pilgrimage to Rome to meet Pope Innocent II. The journey was both a religious and diplomatic one, as he sought recognition for the archbishops of Armagh and Cashel. However, it was during this pilgrimage that something extraordinary occurred. As the story goes, while in Rome, Saint Malachy experienced a profound mystical vision. In a trance-like state, he reportedly saw a succession of popes who would lead the Church from his time all the way to a period of great change or crisis. After waking from this vision, he allegedly wrote down his experience, documenting 112 Latin phrases, each one describing a future pope in a cryptic and symbolic way. Interestingly, Malachy's prophecy remained largely hidden after his death in 1148, only being revealed centuries later in the late 1500s. This delay has led to considerable debate about whether the prophecy was truly written by Malachy or if it was fabricated later to lend it authority. Some scholars believe it was a posthumous creation designed to bring weight to the Church's teachings, while others argue that it's a genuine vision of the future. Regardless of its origin, the prophecy has remained an object of fascination for both believers and skeptics alike. What makes the prophecy especially intriguing is the final entry, which describes the 112th Pope. The Latin phrase used to describe him is Peter the Roman, a direct reference to St. Peter, the first Pope. This description has sparked significant speculation, particularly because some believe it points to Pope Francis, the current Pope, who is the 266th pontiff of the Church. While the phrase Peter the Roman doesn't literally describe Pope Francis, who is neither named Peter nor of Roman origin, some interpret it metaphorically, suggesting that it refers to any pope who serves from Rome during a crucial time in history. For some, this marks the final chapter of Saint Malachy's vision, suggesting that we are living in a time of great spiritual change and upheaval. However, it's important to note that the Catholic Church has never officially recognized Saint Malachy's prophecy as authentic doctrine, and many theologians view it as apocryphal or symbolic at best. That said, the prophecy continues to captivate people's imaginations, drawing attention to the state of the Church and the world at large. The question remains, is this prophecy a warning, an invitation for reflection, or merely an interesting historical tale? Pope Francis's papacy, particularly his background as the first Jesuit pope in history, has added another layer to the mystery. The Society of Jesus, or the Jesuits, was founded in the 16th century by Saint Ignatius of Loyola. Known for their commitment to education, missionary work, and intellectual rigor, Jesuits have played a significant role in the Church's outreach to the poor and marginalized. Pope Francis's emphasis on mercy, social justice, and care for the environment reflects the values deeply embedded in the Jesuit tradition. But Jesuits have also faced criticism throughout history. Their influence was seen as both a blessing and a challenge, and during the 18th century, political pressures led to their suppression in several countries. This complex history has shaped Pope Francis's leadership, making him a figure who is not only concerned with spiritual matters, but also deeply engaged with the pressing social issues of the day. This connection between Pope Francis's papacy and the legacy of the Jesuits adds to the intrigue surrounding the prophecy, as some see his focus on reform and social justice as aligning with the changes predicted by Saint Malachy. Despite the prophecy's mysterious nature, it is clear that Saint Malachy's legacy is not solely defined by his vision. His life, marked by reform and a deep commitment to his faith, speaks to a broader spiritual message. Whether or not his vision of the future is divine prophecy or simply a reflection of the times, it serves as a reminder that the Church is always evolving, facing challenges, and responding to the needs of its people. Saint Malachy's message encourages believers to remain steadfast in their faith, even during times of uncertainty. For many, the idea that Pope Francis could be the final pope in Saint Malachy's prophecy has sparked interest in the current state of the Church and the world. Pope Francis's efforts to address poverty, welcome refugees, and care for the environment have made him a polarizing figure, drawing both admiration and criticism. His willingness to tackle difficult issues, including the Church's role in modern society, has only intensified the speculation surrounding the prophecy. But at the heart of this discussion is the question of faith. How do we respond to challenges, both within the Church and in the world, in a way that reflects the values of love, mercy, and compassion? Saint Malachy's prophecy may remain shrouded in mystery, but its broader message is clear. The Church must remain vigilant, rooted in faith, and open to change as it navigates the uncertainties of the future. Whether the prophecy is a literal roadmap or a symbolic reflection on the Church's journey, it invites us to reflect on our own spiritual path and the role we play in shaping the future. Pope Francis's focus on reform has led to significant changes within the Church. His calls for greater transparency, his efforts to address long-standing scandals, and his focus on caring for the poor and marginalized have drawn both praise and criticism. Many see his leadership as a breath of fresh air, while others fear that his reforms could weaken traditional Catholic teachings. The tension between reform and tradition has always been a part of the Church's history, and Pope Francis is no exception. He stands at a crossroads where the future of the Church is being shaped by a complex mix of tradition, modernity, faith, and societal expectations. However, despite the controversies, Pope Francis's emphasis on mercy, social justice, and inclusivity mirrors the very values that the Jesuit order holds dear. As the first Jesuit pope, his approach to leadership has been profoundly influenced by the Jesuit ideals of education, service to the poor, and intellectual rigor. The Jesuits, founded by Saint Ignatius of Loyola, have always sought to meet the world where it is, addressing both spiritual and worldly needs. Pope Francis's actions as pope are a direct reflection of this Jesuit heritage, as he calls on the Church to engage with the world in a more compassionate and socially responsible way. But as much as Pope Francis's papacy aligns with Jesuit values, it has also been a source of controversy. Some argue that his openness toward changing Church teachings, particularly regarding marriage,